All right, so some new footage has just been released of Ken Paxton, the Trump bootlicker running for Senate in Texas, completely dodging some questions relating to his alleged voter fraud in the state, as well as his main opponent, James Talarico. Eventually just running away from the press conference entirely. So let's take a look together at this insane moment, shall we?
General, I wanted to give you a chance to respond to State Representative Talarico and his campaign. They've made a lot about the reports that have come out. One in the New York Times about you acquiring properties worth $9 million.
Jack, can we keep this to law enforcement today?
Well, I'm giving you the opportunity to answer that question.
I'd like to, we're here with the sheriffs, I'd like to keep today to law enforcement.
Talk about dodging a question.
That's what I'm going to answer, questions about law enforcement.
Okay.
Gromer, did you want to go?
Will you answer a question about why you voted in Collin County? Clear that up.
We're just going to do questions on law enforcement today because we're joined with 22 amazing law enforcement officers.
I have a question.
We're going to get out of here. Thank you, guys.
I have a question.
Yeah, we're going to get out of here.
You had
Thank you.
mentioned, can we not have more than one person answer a question?
What's your question?
We heard from Talarico today. He's campaigning on, it is. He's campaigning on,
Oh my God.
an affordable child care.
That is crazy. And then
General,
these goofy guys just standing up here without Ken Paxton in front of them. What an embarrassing shit show. Clearly the guy has a guilty conscience or something because he is afraid to answer any questions about James Talarico or his voter fraud. And I just love that they keep asking him the questions. They're like, okay, well, law enforcement questions, please. So why'd you do voter fraud? Law enforcement. So why is James Talarico better than you in every single way? It's so funny, right? Like, he cannot stand it, so he just leaves, right? He cannot take a single question that's not relating to all the cowboys standing behind him and not talk about the election that he's currently in. And James Talarico has taken this opportunity to strike while the iron is hot in this amazing address calling out Paxton's voter fraud. Take a look.
Someone is committing voter fraud in the state of Texas, and his name is Ken Paxton. So, for those that haven't seen this news, let me explain. So, our Republican Secretary of State here in Texas has already said that our elections are safe and secure. That's a direct quote from the Republican Secretary of State. But as our state's Attorney General, Ken Paxton has gone on a voter fraud witch hunt. Turns out he was committing voter fraud the whole time, voting illegally 6 elections in a row from the wrong address.
I feel like it's always the goddamn same thing with conservatives, right? It's projection, projection, projection. Lie, lie, lie. The left does voter fraud, when in reality it's actually the right that does more voter fraud. The left is a bunch of predators, right, when the president and the Secretary of War are actually predators. The list goes on and on here, right? And the differences between these two candidates are so extreme you could fit the Grand Canyon between them. You could fit the entire continental United States between these guys. Just take a look at this crowd's reaction to Talarico in a conservative county. Talarico has energy, whereas Ken Paxton can barely stumble through a press conference that he doesn't even answer any of the questions in, right? James Talarico is actually fighting so many opposing forces to fight for the working class people of Texas, and he's still coming out on top. And as this new campaign video shows, Talarico is not just facing political forces, but also growing up, he faced a lot of economic ones as well.
Across Texas, people are waking up before the sun, working hard, stretching every dollar. I was born to one of those people, a single mom guided by faith who did whatever it took to provide for me. As a teacher, I saw families doing everything right and still falling behind. In the State House, I brought both parties together to lower drug costs and cut property taxes. I'm James Talarico, and I approve this message because I'll take on corruption and make this economy work for working people again.
Okay, putting aside the fact that was one of the most Texas ads I have ever seen in my entire life, it works, right? It works while also showing people that Talarico is a true Texan and has the interests of people at hand, focusing on class-first politics, focusing on actually helping the working class, unlike his opponent, which can't even answer a goddamn question about an alleged crime that he committed. And on that note of actually caring about people, this is pretty major, but just today, James Talarico announced that he is in favor of reparations. Take a look.
Do you support reparations, and would you legislate for an anti-black crime bill?
Thank you.
Restoration, repairing past harms is part of my faith tradition. It's part of the values I was raised with. And it's exactly why we need a lot of the policies we've been talking about here to invest in black communities, to invest in black Texans, whether it's tuition relief, whether it's home ownership grants, whether it is baby bonds to ensure that we are helping to build that generational wealth. We have to correct the injustices of our past.
Beautifully spoken. And it really reminds me of James Talarico from years back when he first joined the state Senate, because these resurfaced clips have come up. And if you believe it or not, these are actually being used by conservatives to try to make James Talarico look bad. But frankly, after watching these clips, it makes me like him more. Let me know your thoughts.
We have seen the Republican Party move so far to the right, bullying trans kids, banning abortion, undermining democracy, whitewashing our curriculum, banning mask mandates and vaccine mandates. I mean, the Republican Party of Texas is out of control. And I've regrettably come to the conclusion that I don't think there is a way to work with them.
Police violence against communities of color, in particular our Black community, is nothing new in this country, and it has its roots in slavery and in Jim Crow and in mass incarceration.
So what these clips show is that for years, James Talarico has been an advocate for Black Texans as well as the LGBTQ community within the state, right? This guy is legit, and he has politics that have been rooted in him throughout the years of treating people with respect, of having values that are based in his religious philosophy of love and dignity and showing those the same respect that you would want to be shown. And it's an extremely powerful strategy, especially in a state like Texas, where Talarico is looking to bring over a lot of voters that potentially don't vote a lot, or are younger, or just kind of disillusioned, or potentially even people who voted for Republicans in the past. As these analysts right here talk about a little bit, it could be a good strategy.
He is approaching this clinging to his Christian values. He is meeting people where they are. He's meeting Republicans and independents where they are. He's not saying they're bad. He's not saying they're racist. He's not saying that you are authoritarian, loving dictators because you support Donald Trump. He is approaching this with a lot of kindness, compassion, welcome. He is creating a permission structure for people who have never voted Democrat to this one time consider voting for Talarico over the very, very flawed, baggage-riddled Ken Paxton.
And these pundits might be right. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see, but I do know one thing, and that class politics is on the rise, right? And that people want fighters willing to stick their necks out for working class people in this country, because for far too long, we've been beholden to the same corporate interests and the same corporate machine that controls not only just the Republican Party, but also the Democratic Party as well. Democrats and Republicans alike, it's a bipartisan issue to take money from corporations and do their bidding, right? And the people want a way out of it. They want a path forward, and a candidate like Talarico can give that to them.
The only minority destroying America is the billionaires. Trans people are 1% of the population. Muslims are 1% of the population. Undocumented people are 1% of the population. We are focused on the wrong 1%. Trans people aren't taking away our health care. Muslims aren't defunding our schools. Immigrants aren't cutting taxes for themselves and their rich friends. It's the billionaires and their puppet politicians. The culture wars are a smokescreen. So many of the divisions in this state and in this country are manufactured by billionaires who want us fighting each other instead of fighting them.
Just 10 out of 10, no notes. I love that speech. I love that moment so much. And if you agree with what James Talarico has to say right here, consider subscribing to US Democratic Socialists for more news like this and coverage like this. But I think that's going to do it for me. I'm Iago Lashua. Have a great day. Goodbye.